Monday, September 13th, edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I'm meteorologist Matthew East here with you, and really more of the same general forecast ideas continuing for us with warm and dry conditions. Also, the tropics pretty active. I'll get into all that here as we go through today's edition of the video. Let me start off with temperatures across the country today, and there's a cold front in the Midwestern states. Behind that, you're looking at some cooler temperatures up in the Dakotas, back into the Rockies, and pretty pleasant air mass over much of the southeastern and the eastern part of the country. Here are the dew point temperatures this morning. You're looking at widespread 50s for dew points over much of the Tennessee Valley into the Carolinas and northward into the Ohio Valley. 40s even for dew points when you get up there around the Ohio River Valley itself. So certainly nothing at all muggy about the air mass. Very dry air mass in place. Now, I wanted to show you this. The drought ongoing across parts of the region is not to critical levels. However, it is pretty significant, especially when you get into the western North Carolina mountains and then into eastern North Carolina as well. Looking at some rainfall deficits in some parts of eastern and southeastern North Carolina, upwards of 10 inches for the year thus far. Now, the situation not that bad for the Charlotte and the Greensboro areas, but there are some areas where some drought issues are beginning to creep up, and all of us could use a good soaking rain or two, and it's just simply not in the forecast this week. Here's the upper air chart for today, sort of flat, ridging across the nation's midsection, general troughing in the eastern part of the United States. Let's skip ahead to Thursday night into Friday. There'll be another disturbance cruise to our north. That'll usher in a little bit of a push of reinforcing cooler air for Friday into the weekend. Nothing at all really overly cool, but we'll knock probably 5 degrees off our highs Friday compared to what we see Thursday. Really, I can skim through these graphics pretty quickly. A lot of sunshine today, highs mid-80s. Tomorrow, sunshine, Piedmont highs upper 80s to around 90. Same deal for Wednesday. Thursday, same deal. There's that disturbance approaching Thursday. I suppose I can't rule out a shower Thursday night into Friday with that front, but I just think the chances are very low, and so I've sort of played the rain chances in a pessimistic fashion in today's forecast, and I've left the forecast dry Thursday night into Friday. But probably Friday, Saturday, and Sunday there's Friday, there's Saturday, and there's Sunday. We're looking at highs backing down toward the mid-80s in a number of spots, and low temperatures staying pleasant. A lot of 50s in many spots on a lot of nights. Probably the warmest night will be Thursday night into Friday morning, with lows in the 60s there as that next cold front approaches. All right, there's the broad overview in the tropics. Powerful Hurricane Igor out in the Atlantic Ocean. You have Tropical Storm Julia way in the eastern Atlantic. And then in the Caribbean Sea, an area we're monitoring. I'll discuss each of these systems here. First of all, there's Igor. Powerful hurricane, Category 4, 150 mile per hour sustained wind to the point I'm cutting this video. And, not the most symmetrical hurricane you've ever seen, but there's a nice core of very intense convection around the center, around the eye of that hurricane, and I expect maybe a little bit more intensification, but certainly at least Igor holding its own over the next couple of days. Thereafter, it probably weakens a bit. There's the forecast track, and the model is essentially unanimous, even with recurving this into the Atlantic. Now, the Canadian is the farthest west, but even after that point, it winds up curving it out to sea. So the odds are not in favor of this affecting the eastern U.S. However, any interest there in Bermuda need to closely monitor Igor's progress. Could be a pretty close pass for Bermuda. And it's not set in stone. This recurves down the ocean and misses the U.S. I just think that's the most likely scenario, at least as it appears here right now. All right, in the eastern Atlantic, this is Julia right there. And notice another very powerful tropical wave behind that. Cape Verde season very much active. There's the spaghetti charts on Julia. Looks like Julia will head into the North Atlantic. It could steadily strengthen, though, at least slowly strengthen over the next couple of days. And finally, our area in the Caribbean Sea, it's not looking terribly organized this morning. It'll take a south track. Probably, whatever can develop, if anything, out of this, crosses the Yucatan and then heads toward Mexico. And I just thought this was an interesting model chart. This is the Canadian model, 144 hours out. And I can take these systems one at a time. There's the Caribbean system moving into Mexico. That is Igor. This is Julia. And then that's the system that it tries to develop behind it. So the tropics certainly active, but no immediate threats evident to the United States. So we'll keep watching that. All right, that's it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day on this Monday, and God bless.